Alrighty. Alrighty, Fred. It has been lovely chatting with you so far this afternoon, going over the role, the specifics of it, what it entails, and a little background as far as the company as well. Fred, going over your resume I have here, you have extensive sales or business development
Yeah.
experience, all the way up to running your own business with that. I would love for you to tell me a little bit more when it comes down to your business development or sales experience, if you wouldn't
Okay.
mind.
Yeah. So, I mean, I started out years ago. My first sales job was it was phone sales, and it was at like a brokerage firm. So I had all these Series 7, 66, and I got a great sales training on there, but the job was miserable. It was just like it's not like a very nice field of business to be in. So I went from there. I went to mortgages. So I was running a mortgage company. I trained several salespeople. That was kind of outside sales where you get relationships with realtors. So I have extensive training, like training people and managing people. Um, and then I'm trying to think what I went on to there. I think I was at Glacial Energy after that. And I stayed there for about a year. That because the whole mortgage market collapsed, and it was like really difficult to get a job after that for a little while. So I did that for a while, and then I went to the place TechNet I was at was just strictly phone business development stuff. And I left that to start a business. It was a nursing case management company. So I was still in charge of, like, I had to do the sales and I had to train and manage the salespeople, but I had a lot more, all the aspects of running the business were in my lap as well. So, I mean, I'm still obviously still responsible for the sales stuff, but I haven't really just focused on just sales by itself for a while. So I was like, I'm kind of be like a bit of a relief, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, trying to think, I have really good relationship based sales tools. Like, so for the nursing case management company, I would have to go out and make relationships with like social workers, hospitals, long-term care facilities. And then I would have to keep the relationship good with them. But then when I get a lead from them, now it's the family, but like it was elderly people. So I'm the person getting the services is not coming to me and saying, I have dementia, I need help getting to a home. So
Right.
then I was dealing with the whole family. So then it was like 5 or 6 different people. So there was like, it's probably the most difficult sales related position I've ever had because you're selling like everyone, it felt like, and there was always someone who had a different question. So, or like there was always like the problem person you had to deal with. But so on top of the business development stuff, I have a really good track record of like customer retention as well, because you're constantly having to deal with like what's new, what do we need to fix, and also just getting like a lead referral source from someone that is going to pass on people to me. So I have like all the aspects of the sales, including the phone call, the cold calling, which is obviously not the greatest thing, but it's like once you get good at it, it's a must for any sales position.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you giving me some, background as far as where your
Yeah,
experience is. Again, it's very, very extensive as far as what I can see in your resume here.
yeah.
You've been able to, lead companies and the revenue has increased drastically. But tell me, how do you develop and execute business development strategies?
So I would figure out like who's the ideal candidates that we want to go to. Like if it was like the laser thing, I'd be like, okay, well, who's buying the lasers? Who do I need to talk to? Who are the movers and shakers? And who do I need to get to get like, because there's always like the big relationships that are very fruitful, but you can't go after all those all the time. You have to like make your calls just to like keep the lights on, basically. So like my business development strategy would be like, I mean, I have a pretty extensive online. I can do the SEO stuff and build websites I know how to do the Google AdWords and all that other stuff. I don't know if this is a type of position where we would actually be advertising that stuff because I don't know enough about it. But if that was the case, like I would try to introduce that in a strategy too, because it can bring you some good leads.
Absolutely. That was very well said, Fred. Um, if you were hired, and let's say, what would your 90-day plan be to drive growth and new business opportunities?
Well, I would first of all get knowledgeable about the product and then see what they've been doing in the past and see a lot of times there's people that are like in the system, but like for some reason they get lost and go back through and find like who's active, who's not active, why they're not active anymore, and just like kind of start there to get it to get a because it's good if I'm talking to someone who's already there, like they can kind of give me a basis like to get more comfortable talking to new people, and then from there I would develop a strategy like who do I need to call, who the new people I need to call, and just, I mean, for me, that would be the best approach, I think.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Like we were talking about earlier, sales isn't for everyone. And if you're
Uh,
able to be in sales, you got to be a tough cookie.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and gaining those clientele. But speaking about clientele, how do you build and maintain long-term relationships with key clients?
Well, I mean, you gotta constant like contact is always key. Call up, hey, how are we doing? Do we need anything else? And one of the biggest things is like if there's ever an issue, you have to jump in front of it immediately and figure out what the problem is. Because if you let that go at all, if you don't pick your phone up, it could lead to you losing an entire client. And a lot of times it's over something that's easily fixed, but you just have to like you can't hide from your phone type of thing, because sometimes there's a hard calls to make. Like you got to make some difficult calls sometimes, but if you don't make those calls, I would say getting in front of those relationships and keeping the consistency is definitely the best approach for that. So
I'd say so as well. That's the best approach. When are you looking to start a new role, Fred?
I mean in the next couple of weeks or so, because we closed the company in Connecticut and we sold off um you know we didn't sell the whole company, but we had a lot of clients left to that we got money for. But so I just moved down here, and I'm not working right now, so I'm just looking to get into something, within the next, like not immediately, but the next couple of weeks would be great.
All right. Well, that sounds perfect, Fred. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. Don't hang up on me quite
Okay.
yet. We'll continue chatting. It was a pleasure. Thank you.